Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your monthly reading. As always, keep in mind that this is only a general reading. Always check what it feels right and with what does resonate within your own life experiences during this time. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, please contact me through the email I put in the description box below. For the month of April, as usual, I have a special offer available, and that is going to be indicated as well in the description box below, all the details about it. So if you would like to know more info about it or any other of my services, again, just email me. Or if you would like to donate and support my channel, you can also do that by following the PayPal link, which is also down below, such as SoulVision Facebook and Instagram page. So, Cancer, I feel like April for some of you, it's a mixture between heartbreak and love coming. It's almost like the more love gets close to your heart, or more the love has this intention of proximity, the more your heart seems to be aching or suffering. Now, this is a circumstance that usually happens, and what it seems here is that you might be manifesting a union, a relationship during this time in which there's a lot of potential to make it work. There's a lot of potential for something beautiful to come out of it, but your heart is not in the right place to receive this love, to receive this partnership, to receive this opportunity, because there's still some healing to be done in the heart space. There's still some looking deep at what lives there in your heart, that has not been done. I feel like for some of you, you have not been having your eyes in the right place. This eyes in the right place is like you just have not been having your eyes in your heart because it hurts too much to look there. Some of you, that's the actual thing. You have been avoiding looking at what's there in your heart. You have been avoiding perhaps looking at someone or a potential situation that could bring you happiness, because looking there again hurts. Looking at there is hard work, and some of you have been tired of that. You have been tired of constantly battling with your own feelings and just keep feeling the same way, keep experiencing pain and experiencing disappointment and just a sensation of things not working, things being disruptive, things, ending abruptly or ending in a way again that brings back the sensation of suffering. So some of you have been in a cycle of periodic shatter again of your emotional expectations. And what this cycle created is just big problem when it comes to trusting, when it comes to allowing, when it comes to receiving, when it comes to trying. Some of you feel like you have tried long enough, like you have tried all the amount of times that you could endure, and now you just don't have again the energy to try again. Some of you could be feeling like you don't have the energy to try again in love or in something where your heart is in the line. So for those of you that this is not about romantic relationships, even though I feel like 60-70% of you will be about love, romantically speaking. Obviously, this could also be about something in which you just feel like you have a lot of an emotional investment that is required, and you just don't know if you have that ability to give so much to something, particularly knowing that you still have things inside of you that just are not functioning 100%. It's like your heart space seems to be functioning at like minimum, I have to say. Let me see if I can put this in a way that it's more clear. obviously this is not putting in question that you're still able to feel, that you're still able to love, that you're still able to be a good human being. When I'm saying that your heart has been functioning to minimum, is not to say that you have been heartless. You have been consciously or unconsciously, you put the volume down. That's the feeling here. It's like you put your emotions to minimum. Your heart, because you're such an emotional and the feeling here, you're such an emotional invested person that when a situation requires again emotion, you put the maximum in it immediately, and this has caused you some bumps in the road. So you have learned to put it to minimum, some of you, to avoid to the minimum heartbreak or feelings that feel just very hard to cope with. Um, for some of you, you've done this to also ease on whatever hurt you were experiencing or pain you were experiencing. So some of you did this to still live and still do the things you want to do and still be the person you want to be, feeling again that pain less and less and less and less and less every day. What we call this usually is when we resort to suppression tactics, right? To repression ways, choices that are actively repressing how we truly feel, to keep doing the things that we need to do, in which we would put to risk or jeopardy if we would be constantly, in depression, crying, sad for ourselves, and processing the feelings that we harbor. What seems to be occurring for some of you cancers is that this process you have been in, again, created some traumas, and you still some of you cancers that I'm connecting is like, that you have issues with emotions and with trusting love, but something is occurring in April that is like this thunder, and the thunder energy is actually hitting the heart space. So where there has been this closed space, where there has been this suppression, where there has been this attempt again to minimize the functions that are not essential, seems to be like bursting open with the Knight of Swords coming in here, and then suddenly something opens back again. So a wound opens back up again, a wound that you have been slowly stitching, or a wound that has only been covered with a band-aid. There's a ripping effect of that, and you're now looking again at the raw wound that was there, because either someone or something is triggering that, is triggering the need to look at what hurts. And for some of you, this Knight of Swords could be the presence of a person in your life, particularly cancers that are dealing with air sign influences. So Geminis, Libra, and Aquarius individuals, or people that have a lot of that air vibe, they could be coming in here with this type of sword energy, and sword cuts through. Sword is able to penetrate through whatever thick skin you have been circling around the situation, like whatever you have been trying, the wall you have been trying to generate, this energy or person is able to cut through it. The good news is that this is not meant to have this effect where you repeat trauma, where you repeat an episode that is emotionally wild and violent, but actually it gives you a chance to bleed the remains of it, to bleed whatever you have not bled previously, and be left with this notion that love does exist, that you want love, that you have space for love, and perhaps that there's love by your side that you have not been admitting to or allowing to live it properly, because you have been, again, you have been unavailable. For some of you Cancer that are in a relationship, perhaps you started this relationship with this problem, and again, you have not been, 100% available to this person. And the occurrences in April might put in display. Occurrences in April might be calling you out, calling your heart out in everything that has been done wrong, or it has done to sabotage the presence of a union that fundamentally belongs in your life, and it should be in your life, and it should be addressed as the positive that it is, being in a romantic sense, being in a friendship, being in terms of a personal goal you have, being in terms of integration of your masculine and feminine energies, being in whichever way you can think about. The point here is to bring into harmony two aspects of your own that have been completely opposite in opposite ways, that have been looking in different directions, that have not been getting along, and perhaps manifesting themselves in the quality of relationships where there has been this effect where you look in one way and perhaps the person you're dealing is looking in another way, and there's this push and pull, this constant friction that the Knight of Swords can also bring. For some of you, it could be that there's a person close to you, dear to you, that will open this wound because they will say something, they will do something, but most likely they will say, as you have so much swords here, so there will be this type of verbal channel to get towards that heart wound. So you could be hurt in April by something someone says or the way they say it. You could hear news that are upsetting to you. You could confirm or get confirmation on some of your fears, and this again activates that emotional residual presence that needs to be taken out of the way. For some of you Cancers, you have this thing that your disbelief or this fear, again, this type of idea, belief that love doesn't last, that relationships don't last, and so there's constant fear associated with this. It's not a very easy energy some of you are dealing with. It's a little bit complex here because it's putting a lot of your fears on the line, a lot of your traumas on the line, a lot of things that, and Cancer is an energy that is hypersensitive, so everything has twice, triple the effect that it does to a normal person, or a person that does not have that hypersensitivity. So expect some bubbles to burst, expect some walls to come down, expect some truths to sting, expect some things to be exposed, not because there's this unfairness where you're going to be constantly emotionally punished or victimized, but because the universe wants you to be free, wants you to bleed, again, as I said, it wants you to purge out from your heart all those wounds, all those things that have been there. Perhaps there's again a presence of someone in your life that is a mixture of pain and love. So you could be dealing with a person in your life where there's a lot of that dynamic love and hate, or love that comes associated with pain or difficulty, or just something that is just hard to get by easily. Perhaps you have to forgive something here, or you struggling to do that. You're struggling to forgive someone that hurt you so deeply, and at the same time you still feel the love, or there's still something about this connection that is very real when it comes to union, when it comes to connection. Some of you, there's this trauma bond And for some of you Cancers, you might be surprised also to discover that it's mutual, that it's not just trauma that you experience. Perhaps there has been as well someone that has been suffering uh, something similar to your own due to this mutual existence here of love. For some of you, you can see that there's flowers growing in the sword. So again, I keep getting, yes, it will be difficult to have it all exposed, all out in the open, to cry those tears again, to feel those feelings again, to move through those painful memories again. But isn't the idea of rebirth and freedom, real emotional freedom, alluring, worth the process, like the rite of passage to get you there to that freedom? Isn't it worth it? I'm just concerned because you have the Queen of Swords as you move into May. So there might be still some resistance, some defenses, some issues in you fully allowing that vulnerable, exposed part of you to come out as it should. So this might be this might be a process that's going to take time. This might be something that you're able to do halfway through it and then you shut down again and give up. Or it could be if you're dealing with someone that is like this, if you don't feel like this is you, but you're dealing with someone that has this energy, like a difficult person, let it be as it is. Like, let it happen, this process of this person that seemed to be in a complex vibe towards you. It is complex, and so there's something here that needs to be healed for themselves, and you can't heal them. You can love them, but you can't save them. That's kind of the vibe here. So I hope you have a great month. Thank you so much for all of you that have been liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll see each other soon.